Hello, welcome to Current Exposure. I am Shakima K. Today we have a pretty good discussion lined up about financial wellness, generational wealth, what it is, what's the pathway to it, what it's not. We have our guest this evening, Mr. Isaiah Adams of B.A. Global Capital. Let me bring Mr. Adams on.
How y'all
Welcome, Mr.
doing?
Adams.
How y'all doing? How's everyone doing? What's going on?
All right, all right. Finally, we have your expertise on how to make our money work for us.
Indeed, indeed. So, um, I don't know. You got like I don't know how this works. So, you got
Okay.
questions, or you want me to explain? Like, how does?
I want to talk about okay, we have these buzzwords right now
Hmm.
that's floating around, particularly in the Black community: generational wealth,
Hmm.
financial wellness, and it seems like none of us know how to navigate any of that really because we're not seeing changes in the way Black people build their wealth, the way they make their wealth work for them, and the way they pass it down. We're not seeing upticks in that, even though that's where we want to be.
Hmm.
So what actually is financial wellness? And then the other thing is that I want to talk about the unrealistic expectations people have
Hmm.
with generational wealth and getting there when they're on welfare or they're working pretty much dead end jobs and they keep having children and it's like, all
Hmm.
right, at what point are you planning financially realistically? So yeah, let's go into all of that.
Well, I think starting off with generational wealth, I think people have to realize that sometimes building generational wealth means that you're not going to see those benefits necessarily yourself. I
Mm,
don't think a lot of people, when they talk about generational wealth, are really built to talk about the sacrifices and the expectations that come with that.
right.
Um,
Okay.
but that being said, if you think about all the major companies that are household names, Apple, all of these are companies that started within a generation, right? So
Right.
to say that generational wealth is impossible is not true. It's absolutely
Okay.
possible. It could start off small. You could start off, you know, step by step, and understand that it's a process. But understand that even though people think about the people who they consider rich, all of these fortunes were built within, one or two generations. So it's not impossible. It's not outside of the scope.
Okay.
It's just necessary to know how to do it properly
Okay.
and to not be led astray by like scams or, you know, trends essentially.
Okay.
Um, So as far as building wealth, like I said, it starts with first off understanding your situation, right? And understanding how best you can leverage the tools that you already have available to you.
Okay.
Okay. Um, we're in the age of unlimited information. You can go to
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. Anyone with a smartphone or access to the internet can find, a treasure trove, a plethora of information on any subject that you want to find. You can reach out to people across the world and other to get subject matter like, discussions.
Uh-huh.
Um, so information and communication are at unparalleled levels. Like I like this is a common cliche, but people like you say, if you have an iPhone, you have the same phone as like Jeff Bezos, or maybe not
Right.
Bezos, but you still have the same level of access to information as everyone else. Um, and you need to leverage that no matter which position you're in. You have free time throughout the day, get on YouTube, fall down a rabbit hole, make it interesting.
Okay. Okay.
Um, as
How do
far
you I'm
Go ahead.
sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
How do you pick out of all that information
Hmm.
what's reliable? How do you know what's good,
Well, see,
what's going to really
that's
is
I'm
it going
glad
to
you
be a
asked that.
trial and error?
Well, no, see, the thing about it is, like, the paths for wealth are already kind of laid out. It's just
Okay.
about understanding the proper path. And that's why they have
Mhm.
people in positions like mine that are there to navigate you there, right?
Okay.
See, because the thing about having access to information is that you also have access to a lot of misinformation as well, right?
Okay.
And with that comes, scams and people looking to take advantage of people who don't have, the knowledge and, relieve you of, the money that you work for,
Mm.
right?
Okay. Okay.
I think one of the reasons why, especially in the African American community, finances aren't not I'm not going to say prioritized, but like finance as a profession isn't generally seek
Okay.
pursued, right? Is
Okay.
because for one, like finance didn't become a real profession until about the 1980s when everything became securitized in the
Oh,
stock
okay.
market.
Okay.
Um, by that happening, that's when banking and sales and trading became professions that could, take you to the same positions as a doctor or engineer or a lawyer, right?
Wow.
So,
Just playing with people's money.
yeah, exactly. At one point, right before like the financial crisis of 2008, there was like a stat that said the majority of corporate profit was made by like actual financial engineering and not
Wow.
like actual like revenue from the business aspect of it.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's definitely profitable if you know what you're doing, if you have the right
Okay.
risk controls, risk parameters. But as far as following the right path, uh, I think it's important because here's the thing: in the world of finance, right? There's a
Uh-huh.
thousand ways to shake a dollar, right? There's
Okay.
equity, there's debt, there's bonds, there's currency, there's commodities, there's, excuse me, there's credit, there's
Uh-huh.
private equity, there's venture capital, there's a thousand ways to shake us, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Okay.
I think the important thing is to make sure that your foundation is solid. Once your
Okay.
foundation is solid and you're set up so that you can invest with a freer mind, then
Okay.
that's when you really are going to understand the benefits of things like compound interest and stuff. So
Okay.
a good foundation starts with making sure your people are good, which is either some form of life insurance. Like if you have any
Mm-hmm.
dependents or anything like that, you should make sure you have life insurance. You should make sure that you're preparing for your retirement because I know people who are in their 30s right now who are already sick of working.
Mm-hmm.
How you going to
Yeah.
feel in 30 more years? you
Right.
know
Right. Right.
so it's important to start preparing for retirement now. I think the major problem with people preparing for retirement now, though, is that one, keeping up with the Joneses doesn't really allow you to save a lot of money. And because of
Mm.
Instagram,
Okay.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
keeping up with the Joneses going on,
Okay. And
right?
how detrimental is that or setback for
I mean, there's
building
an
your wealth?
aspirational quality to it as well. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Because now, you got people who wouldn't have access or wouldn't have known about this and they're being privy to that, and now they want
Okay.
that. So now they have the ambition to go chase after that, which is the whole premise of like capitalism in general. But like
Okay.
at the same time, it's getting to a point where like it's getting hard. It's harder to make a dollar than ever before, and the dollar is worth less because of things like inflation, right?
Okay.
And because your dollar is worth less, you have to make sure that you're putting it in avenues that increase substantially, exponentially,
Okay.
right? Because
Okay.
if you're not, then you're trying to save to retirement, and it's not possible. You can't save a dollar over a dollar because every day the dollar since 2000. I saw a statistic yesterday that said since 2020, the power of the dollar has gone down like 25% or something like that.
Wow. Are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
serious? That's a
That
lot.
inflation is crazy. Inflation is crazy. Think about it though. Think about, 5 years ago, how much was a Snicker bar? You go to the
Yeah.
gas station now, they're two
Like,
dollars, two
yeah,
fifty.
250, almost $3 for Snickers.
Exactly. So, you got to make sure that the money that you have is working consistently and while you sleep to make sure that you stay ahead of the curve of how inflation is devaluing the money that you currently hold.
Wow.
Right? So just in
Yeah.
general, even if you have like a basic savings account right now, right?
Uh-huh.
You should move that into a high yield savings account if you don't plan to move that in. That's the bare minimum, right?
Right.
That's the
Right.
bare minimum, no risk solution, right? Jerome Powell didn't change interest rates. They're still at like 4.5%. You could get an
Right.
annual 4%, no risk at all, right?
Uh-huh. But
But
I've heard a savings, a regular savings account today is useless.
yeah, no, it's absolutely pointless. Um,
Okay.
just because, like I said, the money is moving because of inflation is constantly being devalued. So you got to make sure that when you're saving it, you're putting it into something that's generating it while you're saving it,
Okay.
right? And you do that through investing in whatever you deem. See, the thing about it is, I can tell you what, like, not stocks to invest in specifically,
Right.
but you know, the S&P just reached that's a new high, right?
Okay.
The S&P 500 is the composite index of the top 500 companies in America, right?
All right.
And by investing in the S&P, you're essentially investing in America, right?
Okay.
Now, over time, right, over a 20-year period, they say that the average return is about 8 to 12%, right?
Okay.
And that's if you just put it in, don't do anything, let it accrue. Dollar cost average, which is depositing money at set intervals, whether that's monthly, bi-weekly. You
Okay.
do that because you invest dollar cost averaging. You do that because the market will fluctuate, and
Uh-huh.
as it fluctuates, you can buy in at the high sometimes, but you can also buy in at the low sometimes. So,
Okay.
for example, when Trump announced his tariffs earlier this year, right? The
Uh-huh.
market dipped, and a lot of people were considering selling because they didn't know how the trade outcome was going to come out, right? Now
Okay.
that he's put together more deals, the market has rebounded and has surpassed the level that it was when it fell. Now, if you
Wow.
were dollar cost averaging into the market, which
Mm-hmm.
means just buying every 2 weeks or so, right? You
Uh-huh.
caught that dip while the market was down and you bought it with low. And now that the market has rebounded, you got the advantage of that percentage.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Okay. So some people made some money.
Yeah, basically. And as long as you don't panic, as long as you didn't panic and didn't sell when it fell,
Right.
right? Remember, you only take a loss when you sell,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Um, but yeah, basic financial blueprint, things that if okay, so if you have kids, right,
Uh-huh.
you should look into early education investments that include 529 accounts. Um, I forget the name of the other type of accounts, but a 529 account allows you to invest, like I said, dollar cost averaging periodically once the kid is born. So when it's time for college, that money
Right.
has compounded that you've been saving over 18 years, say at whatever the return of the 529 program is, say 10% a year, right?
Okay. Okay.
So that's if you have kids, right?
Right.
For yourself personally, you should be looking at a retirement account, a regular investment account if you want to learn how to invest yourself,
Uh-huh.
a health savings account, which
Okay.
is an account that you can use for medical expenses.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's important for everyone over 30 just because medical debt is a major cause of bankruptcy in America. And you need
Yeah.
some type of, most jobs, if you have benefits, they will offer you a thing like a 401k, which is a retirement plan, and
Right.
a health savings account. And you can get that through your job. But if you don't have it, you can go to you become the people like me, financial advisors, or you can get them yourself through brokerage services like Schwab or E-Trade.
Okay.
What
What
else?
about what do you think about the one with Fidelity? I've heard they
Fidelity
have
is
an
also a
HS.
good brokerage as well.
Okay.
Fidelity is also a good one. Um, but there's dozens of brokerages. Robinhood, if you don't feel like or you only have a phone. Um, yeah, there's dozens of reputable brokerages at this point, and
Okay.
because they're all reputable, they all are like low cost. They don't really cost a lot to maintain an account, right?
Okay.
Um, Let me think.
Oh, I forgot to ask you
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
about your finance background. Like, what made you interested?
So
Did you go to school for this? How long?
so
And
long story short, like I grew up in a finance family. Both my parents worked in finance.
oh, okay.
So my mom worked at Merrill Lynch for 35 years. So I remember being like 4 years old running around a trading floor, right?
Wow.
So it's always
Wow.
had like a low key interest for me, right? But
Okay.
when I came out of school, I got a job at this brokerage service called Marco Polo Capital Markets. And what they did is they were a brokerage firm for high frequency trading hedge funds, international hedge funds, right?
Okay.
So what that means is that like money managers from across the world would use our brokerage service to get faster access to the American market,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And at that job, I got that job because of some black nepotism. I ain't gonna hold you. Got that job through my father. Shout outs to him. Um, but I started on the trade flow desk for just starting out, making sure at the end of the day all the trades were confirmed and entered into
Okay.
the system and stuff like that. But I asked uh, over time I
Uh-huh.
got an opportunity to do some prop trading, which is proprietary trading with the firm's money against some of, just the general market and some of our clients, right?
Oh, okay.
Now, officially, only my ideas were used. You feel me? Shout outs to my boy Ben, who was the official trader for the account. Uh, but yeah, my ideas were used, but that's where I learned how to trade. Uh,
Did you like trading? Was it exciting?
yeah,
Was
no,
it did you get anxiety at some
I like,
point?
I like trading in the sense that it blends economics, history, politics, and money and the flow of money throughout the world. Like it's a large, like overall. Like it's a market of, how do I explain this? It's all a system. It's all a system and it's
Okay.
all intertwined. And I liked
Mm.
watching how money interacted throughout the world and how that influenced things like policy and how it shaped things like governments throughout history. So that was always my interest in it. And trading was like the last actual form of, you know, hand to foot, like hand to cash transactions where you could just say one, you know. But yeah, overall, yes, I did enjoy it.
Okay.
After that, I ended up leaving finance and working for a labor union for a
Okay.
while. That happened because I was working on a mayoral campaign, and through a contact that I met, I ended up getting a job, and I ended up doing some union organizing for a while. But at the union, I ended up working on the executive pension board committee, right? The
Oh,
pension fund committee,
nice. Nice.
um, because I was actually the only one who had real any experience with Wall Street in general. So
Wow.
yeah, so what ended up happening was like there would a lot of stuff would defer to me. Like when they would have people come in and try to pitch their funds for the pension fund, it's like, all
Uh-huh.
right. Afterwards, I'd be breaking down, explaining what this meant. It's like, I don't know if we should do that, right?
Making
Uh,
sure people aren't getting robbed of their pension.
yeah, no, it was cool. That happened for about a year.
Okay.
After that, um, I got I got laid off from the organized because I was a national union organizer, right? So I was
Okay.
actually knocking doors, getting people to sign up for the union. We actually subscribed. Um, you know those ads that you hear on the radio for like uh, home health aides? It's like you can
Yes.
go take care of your parents. That's because we
Yes.
organized and unionized all of the home health aides in Pennsylvania and New York City.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um, and
Because
so
yeah, it started in New York and
yeah.
then it
No, no,
kind
it
of
started in Philadelphia. It started in
oh it did?
Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we
Okay.
organized. It was a joint collaboration between SCIU and ASME, right? It was like a
Uh-huh.
3 month campaign, and we were all over Pennsylvania knocking on doors, getting people home health aides to sign up, and we won. We won. So we organized all the home health aides in Pennsylvania. So now they do those ads because it's privatized business, and those aren't unionized, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's funny when I hear him on the radio, I always think about that. But long story short, I got laid off from that job. Um, just budget cuts.
Okay.
Uh, but because I was no longer an organizer, I was no longer working with the executive committee for the pension fund either. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Oh, wow.
yeah. But from there, I went to, I had worked some odd jobs, and then I got a job at Merrill Lynch. Uh, I got my licenses, my Series 7, my Series 66, my what is it called? There's a license that you have to get before you get your Series 7, but I got that one too.
Okay.
Um,
And what's the Series 7?
so the Series 7 is the uniform exam. It basically allows you to sell securities, right, for a
Okay.
brokerage firm, right?
Okay.
Um, you need it in order to sell securities on behalf of a brokerage firm. The Series 66 is the investment advisor series license. It gives you the ability to invest people's money on their behalf.
Okay.
See, the difference is like a lot of people who, especially on social media, they want to teach you how to invest people's money because they can't invest it on your behalf,
Oh, got it.
right? But you can't get the Series 66 until you get a Series 7 license. And you can't get a Series 7 license unless you get sponsored by a major brokerage firm like Merrill Lynch or
Okay.
Barclays.
So
Or,
a regular lay person like me can't just go in there and get a license without being sponsored.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. It's one
Okay.
of the huge glass ceilings in
Okay.
the finance world. It's another reason why a lot of black people aren't in the profession. Because like I
Okay.
said, you can't just jump into it. You got to be hired by a major financial institution, and they need, they want a college degree minimum. You feel me? They're gonna run a background
Wow.
check. You feel me? I saw people get fired that way. Like, it's a whole lot of
Wow.
red tape. You get a background check when you get your licenses as well. Like, the brokers will do a background check, and the licensed FINRA will do a background check on you. You know what I'm saying? So if you
Really?
got criminal history, it's not
That's
damn near.
it?
Yeah.
Wow. They will reject you like if there's
Just
wow.
can't. They won't even let you qualify. Yeah,
Wow.
it's crazy. But in order to open up an RIA, you need your Series 7 and 66, or some type of like financial accredited degree, like a CPA or a
Okay.
CFA.
Okay.
Uh, but an RIA is its own institution itself.
And what's the RIA?
That's a registered investment advisory. That's what BA Global
Okay.
Capital is.
Okay. And BA Global Capital is your organization, right?
Hmm.
How would you describe it for the audience, and what what is it that you do there, and how can people reach you?
Okay, so BA Global Capital is a registered investment advisory. We are in the business of creating unique investment profiles and budget and financial solutions for our clients so
Mm-hmm.
that they can achieve financial wellness and generational wealth.
Okay.
Um, you can reach us at our website, baglobalcapital.com. Um, Also, I'm on every every social media platform. BA Global Cap on Instagram, uh,
Okay.
uh, or excuse me, Twitter. BA Global Capital on Instagram. Um, BA Global Capital on YouTube. BA Global Capital on TikTok. Um,
Okay.
but the main way is through our website. Um, what else was the last thing?
How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah,
You
through our
said the
website.
website, right? Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just
Once
going to put baglobal.com on
no,
the
BA Global
screen.
Capital.
Oh, baglobalcapital.com. Right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to add it as a banner. Okay.
Yep.
baglobalcapital.com. All right, people. That's where you can go and you can set something up with Mr. Adams. And you mentioned that you do budgets too, which
So we also, and on top of investment consulting, we also do financial planning.
okay,
Financial planning is just the process of, outlining your budget, seeing where you can afford to make some cuts or where there's financial drag. It's about optimizing the current bills that you pay, as
okay,
well as making sure you have more discernible income at the end of the month than you did before.
okay,
And we do that by either subscribing you to services that provide a level of what you had before with at a lower cost, or um, you know, getting you out of things that you didn't know, or finding money that you didn't know you had.
okay,
Um, so that's one aspect of it. The other aspect, like I said, is investment consulting, which is, where we talk about the retirement planning
mm-hmm.
and the just overall investments that you can make. I know there's a major emphasis on real estate investing in the Black community as the only form of investing, but the stock market has created more millionaires than real estate, a lot
Uh,
easier as well.
okay, I've been hearing about the real estate. They call them REITs or something like that.
So REITs are a real estate investment trust.
Okay.
It is a investment vehicle of a bundle of different mortgages that allow you to invest in real estate passively.
Okay.
It's a form of it's you can buy a REIT just like you can buy the S&P 500. So like the
Okay.
S&P 500 is a collection of companies, REITs are a collection of mortgages of real estate investments.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, but REITs, the thing about REITs are while they're usually perform a nice dividend because it's passive,
Uh-huh.
right? The growth that you're going to get from them isn't going to be substantial. So
Okay.
you have to wonder sometimes there's a time to be look at your investments with a growth philosophy, and there's a time to look at your investments with a passive philosophy, depending on where your age and risk tolerance are.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen REITs marketed to younger investors, and younger investors should take advantage of compound interest and growth as opposed to REITs, which are a more passive investment for people who have already made their money and are looking to park it into something safe.
Oh, got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
That makes
so
sense.
because with REITs, you think about it, it's mortgages, it's people paying their rent, and you get a percentage of that rent. It gets passed through to you as a dividend,
Okay.
right?
Right. Okay.
But rents aren't going to jump 30% year after year.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you're going to get that dividend consistently. And if you need regular, consistent passive income, then that
Uh-huh.
is an investment that's good for you. But if you're
Okay.
a young person and you've got this money coming in and you want to really maximize it for compound interest, then it might not be for you. See,
Okay.
that's the difference that you would get with talking with a financial advisor.
Okay. Got you.
You know what I'm
Got you.
saying? You see the difference. They can understand your unique position and
Right.
understand which strategies are best for you. And then on
Okay.
top of seeing which strategy, you can recommend strategies that we believe that will best benefit you overall, depending on what you're looking to accomplish.
Okay. Okay. So do you run across a lot of people who don't even have a budget?
So, I mean, the first step is always, to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I've had people who come across who never invested anything at all, who they know they want to start, and we get them
Okay.
set up with an account that, you deposit $50, $100 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And over time, that's going to compound. And after 2 or 3 years, right, you start really seeing that compound interest take hold, and you're seeing what it does. And
Right.
then since you already have that money built up, then it starts compounding more, and you really start to understand what we're doing,
Okay.
right? But it's more of a long-term strategy. Now, we do have shorter term strategies, but they're more for the risk averse and people who qualify for them.
Uh-huh.
Um, like, I'm not going to put someone who only has like I said, their $50, $100 a month into a strategy that's a short term, high risk strategy. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Got you. Got you.
Because,
That makes sense.
because at that point, you're still trying to set your foundation,
Mm-hmm.
and riskier strategies, while they might be more profitable, right? They also have they're riskier for a reason. They're more
Right.
profitable because they're riskier, and with that risk, they say no risk, no reward. But if you're not in position to risk it, then you're not. You feel me?
Right. Right.
But what we like to do, like I said, is get our clients to a point of financial security. You
Okay.
feel me? So that once they have their foundation solid, then they can have the freedom to invest more. I don't want to say cavalierly, but with the freedom of mind of knowing that, if this doesn't pan out, I'm good still.
Right, right, right.
Mhm.
Okay. So, what about the lottery? People play the lottery and think they're invested in the lottery.
I mean, if I could take all the money that people spend on the lottery and FanDuel a month and get it, it's put it into their investment account, then a lot more people will be more secure in about 2 or 3 years. The
Wow.
problem is the lottery and FanDuel offer money at a quick return. You feel
Uh-huh.
me? And like I said, most people don't have the not only the patience, but they don't have the ability financially to think about their finances in a long term position because they're
Okay.
so busy living check to check now.
Okay.
But the thing about it is, you're never gonna get away from check to check if you don't get a handle on it.
Right. And that's what you do, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Your firm helps people to get out of that check to check mode. And that's something that I'm honestly tired of hearing
Mm-hmm.
in the community, because
I
it's
mean,
like if you know that's what it is and you know that's what's keeping you back, then let's do something about it.
I try to give people a little grace. The thing about finances is, people work hard for their money and they want to enjoy it. And I'm not
Yeah,
knocking that because, you can work and, you can work for a number of years and then save up for a number of years and then pass away before you ever get a chance to enjoy it. Right.
that's true. But that what if you end up living,
I mean, but that's
you
the thing.
know, and you
But no,
end
the
up
thing is,
your
but the thing
check to
about it
check
is, there's a
now.
way to do both. There's a way to do
Okay,
both. You can still save up for your future while enjoying the life that you're living today.
okay,
Okay, it is absolutely possible. You just got to make a few sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all
okay,
right, we're not gonna eat out for 6 months. You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Right,
Little
right.
things, little things. It doesn't have to be a monsoon of things. Little things. It's like, all right, we got Wi-Fi, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
really watch everything for free on the internet. Do we really need to be subscribed to Netflix, Disney, Amazon, and that ends up
Prime.
being
Right, right. All of that. Right,
$70,
right,
$80 a month,
right. Yeah,
damn near. You find out that you can end up cutting about $200-300 back into your budget every month. But it's not just about cutting back, because cutting back, you'll never save your way into wealth,
okay.
right?
That makes
Because
sense. Yeah.
the way inflation works, that money is always consistently being devalued, right? So you can't save your way into wealth. Your money always has to be compounding, right? So our
Uh-huh.
job is to make sure you have a little money to compound, but also encourage you to upskill in a position so that you can bring in more income, right? If you're a
Okay.
client at BA Global Capital, we're not letting you just sit down and let the world take you by storm.
Okay.
We make sure that you're aware and abreast of all the upcoming trends and, finance, tech, AI, etc. Because the way we understand the market is understanding how things happen in real time, and we can
Right.
use that expertise to help our clients as well to make sure that they're in a better position.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all
Okay.
right, how do we go about not only, cutting back, how do we make sure that you bring in more money? And when you bring in more money, you don't jump into spending it all as you get it.
Right.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Because lifestyle inflation is a major thing as well. People get that first good job and it's like, all right, well, now I got the BMW. Now I got the apartment with the nice view. You feel me? And all of a sudden, you feel like you're working to maintain these things that you enjoyed when you initially got them. But now they have this feeling where it's like, do I even
Wow.
really need this shit?
Right. And you
You know what
call
I'm
it
saying?
lifestyle inflation? That's the name of it?
It's called lifestyle inflation, lifestyle creep.
Okay. Wow. That's when people get brand new and create more bills for themselves. I actually know people like this and
I
they
mean,
seem more
that's
stressed
the thing
out.
about Instagram. That's the thing about Instagram. You know, you want to keep up with them Joneses. You want to see that. You know, you want to make sure that girl who wasn't feeling you before knows how you doing. You want to make sure you know that nigga who you was. You know what I'm saying? You better off without him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I see you. Keep doing your thing, but you know, put a little to the side so you're not 30 years wondering how you going to pay for your mortgage. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. And I see people like that too, where they've taken loans out on their houses, went on vacations, bought Benzes, and now they're in foreclosure.
I mean,
They're too
listen.
old to get 2 and 3 jobs to catch up because their body is just not working like that. And if they try that, they'll probably drop dead from a heart
Yeah.
attack or a stroke or something.
I mean, well, that's why it's best to start as early as possible. The earlier you start, the more you can take advantage of compound interest, and the
Uh huh.
more you know you'll start seeing those returns, and you can start, you know, using your assets to pay for your liabilities as opposed to paying for liabilities and then having no money for assets.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
So,
Right. Wow. Wow. You've given us like some serious and deep insight. This is
I mean,
good
I want
information.
I want people to understand the I don't want to say dire situation that we're in, but you know, the clock is ticking
Uh huh.
and you have less time than you think to start moving in a way that's going to make sure that you and your family are good for the future. You know, with
Right.
advancements in technology, people are getting laid off at a higher rate. You know, machines can do the job. I mean,
Right.
if you've used any of this AI, it's not really as great as people think it is, but I can see why people are saying it for the next 5 to 10 years,
Uh huh.
right? But with new, you know, technology comes new opportunity as well. You know, now you need someone to operate all these AIs. You need people to understand it and interpret it. You know, and these present new opportunities for you to, you know, get into things. Like I said, the
Okay.
information is always available for you. You know, even if you got to pay a little bit for it. Um,
Okay.
but you know, it really comes down to what do you want out of your future? What do you want for the future of, you know, your legacy?
Uh huh.
And, you know, how much how much is enough? Like, because it gets to a point where it's like, all right, you get if you're getting money, right, and you're not preparing for the future, like how many times you gonna go to the club, pop bottles, go to
Mhm.
the strip club, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Blow it on
Right.
frivolous things, and
Right.
then in the next year wondering like, oh, where what happened to it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. But you know, if you put the foundation correct, then as you bringing that money in, you set yourself up nice, and then you can put yourself in a position where you don't ever have to worry about money again. And that is a state of financial wellness that we try to make sure we all our clients experience.
Wow. And to get there, there's a process and there's a discipline.
This process is a discipline, but the way we operate is we work with each client to best understand how they interact with money,
Uh
right?
huh.
Because me personally, I'm terrible at saving, right? And I can admit
Okay.
that because I set up my processes so that all of my bills are paid on autopilot, so I don't even have the ability to take it away from me. You feel me? So,
Wow.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And if that's the steps that are necessary, then that you know, is something that we can implement for you.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because it's like sometimes you don't even have the discipline for it, but that's why it's like, all right, people don't have like it's like I don't have the discipline to invest consistently over time. So it's like, all right, well, we're going to set up a process where money comes out of your account automatically. That's the dollar cost
Okay.
averaging I was talking about earlier, right?
Right.
Goes out your account automatically during the highs and the lows, so that it's taking advantage of the market regardless while you sleep, compounding. And then the next year you're going to see what that amount is, and you're like, I can't believe that came from just investing $50 to $100 a month, and that's on the
Wow.
low end. Imagine if you're really getting money and you putting away $5,000 a month. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Imagine you putting $100,000 a month into an investment vehicle, and you seeing
Wow.
4%. You feel me?
Wow.
Seeing 8%. You see me?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's with no effort on your part. You don't have to work the job. You don't have to clean out the house. You don't have to do construction. You don't have to, you know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? You invest it and you watch the numbers go up on the screen.
Hmm.
Uh,
Thank you for
and
that.
I think
Yeah. I'm listening. With what was your thought?
I was saying that I think that it's kind of by design that the proper way isn't taught to our community.
Okay.
Because when you think about compound interest, right, you're making a percentage off something, right? The
Right.
same way that if you're paying into something, you're paying the interest of something like interest, right?
Yeah.
Or excuse me, like inflation, you're paying to the interest of something, right? I think because we're the ones paying into everything, right? We're
Uh-huh.
everyone else's compound interest. So
Wow.
there's a vested interest in not teaching us to compound our own money, because then that wouldn't be available for the people to take advantage of. But that's my
Wow.
personal theory. You feel me? That's my personal
That's
conspiracy
that's
theory.
interesting. I never thought about that, but you made me think about it because yeah, like a lot of people in the community don't um move their money in ways I think that will be a greater benefit for the community. If there's trillions of dollars going out to other people, other communities, I can imagine what it would be like if those $1 trillion stayed in the community and the things that could be achieved with that amount of money.
And not only that, they take our $1 trillion in consumer spending power, right? They take our $1 trillion, right? And then they use it to create their own businesses so that they're sustained, right?
Mm.
But like I
Mm-hmm.
said, we're building out their compound interest. But I don't want to get too much on that. You get too much on
My,
that, you know.
my audience loves stuff like that. They like the controversy. When they get into the comments when this airs, they're probably gonna have a lot of comments around this time frame.
Well, I mean, yeah, yeah. It's funny because
Somebody has to get taken advantage of.
well, I mean that's the general gripe about capitalism in general.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's that someone has to be taken advantage of,
For it
and
to
it's
work.
like,
Yeah. For it, yeah.
you know.
So
But
what do you think about capitalism though? Do you think it's
I think
good? Are you neutral or how you feel about it?
I think I have a few thoughts. The first is that if someone if you choose to ignore capitalism, right, then
Uh-huh.
capitalism happens to you,
Right,
right?
right, right,
So it's
right.
like if you don't decide to learn about money and how money works, right, then someone who knows how
Mm-hmm.
money works is going to make their money work against you
Right,
to their interest in their, so it's like you got to know about it just for the simple fact that you got to combat it, right?
right, right. And
That's the
I'd be
first thing. The second thing, I think that it gets a bad rap, but the overall effect of like globalization has lowered not only the food starvation rate over the last 50 years, but also has increased like the education rate of the
Uh-huh.
overall planet over the last 50 years, like to a great extent.
Wait,
To a,
so we're smarter now? We're smarter today
think about it, think about
than
it,
we
think
were?
about it, think about 100 years ago, when people were like serfs, or like a
Uh-huh.
1,000 years, we were in, what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like now, especially in America, you can make $500,000 without any manual labor. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So we're
Right.
definitely smarter than we were, but it's not just like in America. It's like the over global
Okay. The
education
planet,
rate
like
has
you said.
increased.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And you can see
Okay.
that through the industrializations of countries like China, India, Brazil, you know what I'm saying, Russia. You know what I mean? Through their industrialization, you can see now the Chinese, people think the Chinese are smarter than us in things like math and sciences. And they just
Okay.
industrialized in the last 15, 20 years. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So that, as well as, opening up trade lines all throughout the world, has increased like people being able to get food. It might not be the best food, but food in general. Um, Capitalism has its uses, and other systems have their disadvantages. And I think
Okay.
when people talk about things like communism, it's like, you know, leaving the power in the hands of the state or the people. It's like, well, then that the power of the people is dictated by the majority. And,
Right.
how does the majority feel? How does the state feel? It's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
and with capitalism, you're at least left to your own devices to some extent, in order,
Okay.
in terms of like forging your own destiny, more or less.
Okay.
But and you can see the difference in like Eastern European countries that have a form of communism. There's no jobs. Capitalism inform the thing about capitalism, and it inspires envy, and that envy inspires innovation, right?
Okay.
So it's like, all
Okay.
right, you see somebody with the nice car. It's like, how do I get that? All right, this is how you do it. Grind, bust your ass, boom, boom, boom. Maybe make up some new technology. Now you in that car. That's the beauty of
Okay.
capitalism. You feel me? You can't
Got
do
you.
that in a communist society, because it's like everyone has their set position, and that's where you are. There's no elevation. There's no, you know what I'm saying?
Ah, I get you. I see what you're saying. I see
Yeah.
what you're saying.
So
You wouldn't be
capitalism
able to
has its
create an
uses,
Amazon,
huh?
or I said you
Well,
wouldn't
see,
be
that's
able
the
to
thing.
create
People say
Amazon.
like, "Oh, no one deserves to be a billionaire," but it's like Jeff Bezos normalized 2-day delivery of anything you want in the world. Like you can get anything you want in
Yeah,
2 days. That's
right.
crazy.
They
That
do
is
some stuff
insane.
same day now. Some things
That's
are same day
insane.
now. I'm like
When
in
you think about like how
shock of
you
where
think
it has
about
come.
if you think about it, like people got used to travel by boat months at a time to get spices from India. Now you
Yeah,
get 1-day delivery. You
right.
got instant food. Like
Yeah, yeah.
capitalism affords you with so many luxuries, if you can afford it, that you know it's hard to see why people don't embrace it, right? But
I think people do embrace it
I
and
think I
use
think
it, and
I
I
think
think they're just upset at certain conditions. And
well, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's more so it's getting to a point where, at least in America, it's getting the separation between the haves and have nots is becoming more apparent, right? And it's
okay.
like, I think, you know, people are generally aspirational,
Uh-huh.
but as technology progresses, a lot of people aren't seeing the way in order to really elevate themselves out the rung that they're currently in, right?
Okay.
And
So with us having access to so much information, like you can literally teach yourself anything using the
but that
internet.
makes and that's great, but that makes the learning gap also smaller, or the opportunity gap smaller, because now more people can learn about this, so that there's less opportunity in the field. So it's
Okay.
like, yes, you can learn how to trade and trade stocks online, for example, right?
Uh-huh.
But now that there's so many retail investors, right, it makes the environment that you're trading in more choppy,
Okay.
because institutional flow isn't determined like the end all be all, right?
Okay.
So it's like, or you develop a strategy, right, that works, right, and then you tell your friend, and then everybody knows about it, and it stops working. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Got you. Yep.
And that's generally what happened. So when I was at the Marco Polo, like high frequency trading funds, they were doing very well in the spin of like 2011, 2013, when they were
Uh-huh.
really, when they were the cut of the edge technology and no one else knew what they were
Right.
doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They were front running people and stuff like that. And it was like, hey, but as more people discovered it, more people started doing it. The latency got slower. It didn't become a viable strategy anymore.
Yeah. Phased
And that's
out.
the thing. So, and I think that as the information has exploded, the the opportunities that really provide the higher level of, and that's another problem with capitalism, right?
Uh-huh.
People are shuffled by force toward
Mm.
the higher levels of, income, and things like the humanities get ignored, because it's
Okay.
like I can't worry about writing poetry or making music. I got to make this money. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what can I do to make this money? All right, boom, that's what I'm doing. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And it's like, that's not might not say it might not be necessarily what you want to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you're doing what you got to do, and that's the problem. It shuffles people into a thing where they do things they don't want to do. You know what I mean? It's like I've heard like stories of like ICE agents like rationalizing treating people like shit by saying, "Hey, think about like the $30,000 bonus we're gonna get." You feel me?
Wow.
And it's like, that's good for me and my family.
Mm.
Capitalism
Yeah.
is inherently selfish. It makes people, worry about them and theirs. It's like I got to make sure my people aren't drowning. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like, if everyone is good, then everything is great. But everybody ain't good, then we got to worry about making sure that the people that we love aren't doing bad. Which is
Right.
why you need things
Somebody,
like,
yeah. Somebody gotta lose in capitalism.
yeah. But,
That's
there's ways to win that are extremely easy. Um, Things like life insurance.
mm-hmm.
You get life insurance in your 40s. That'll be great for your kids. You know what I'm saying? When you pass away in your 80s and 90s, you feel me?
Right.
Because it's like, all right, now they get a huge lump sum, and it's enough so where they can make moves and they don't have to worry about everyday bills. You know,
Right.
every day worrying about bills makes you not worry about, how you can escape the bills. I'm just worried about paying them at this point.
Right.
So it's like, you know, our job is to make sure that you're in the best financial position possible, using all the available technology and know-withal of our
Uh-huh.
expertise to make sure that, you're in an overall position of financial security, so that you and your offspring can benefit for the long term. Yeah.
All right. Nice. That's baglobalcapital.com. If you want to connect with Mr. Adams and his team, reach out, go to the website. Um, but we appreciate you coming on, sharing this information, and keeping it real about how it's building is a process. Getting your financial security set and straight is a process, and it's not something that you say you want and it just happens overnight. Even generational wealth.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, yeah, because I see a lot of people, they want to get financially secure, but they don't know how to go about doing it. They're doing other things, like you said, keeping up with the Joneses. And it's like, okay, how are you going to save for your retirement if you keep going to the club and blowing it to impress people? How are you going to save for your kid to go to college if you keep going to the club and blowing it?
Not just going to the club and blowing it. There's a thousand ways to spend money, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but you just got to make sure that, because I'm not advocating for not enjoying your life, because you have to enjoy your life. Otherwise,
Right.
what is the
I
point,
agree. I agree,
right?
but you got to
But at
take
the
care of your
same
business
time,
too.
you got to take care of your business. You got to make sure that your foundation is secure. You got to make sure
Right.
that your money is compounding and working for you on your behalf while you're not. And you got to make sure that you're preparing for the future. You know, if you're doing all that, then by all means, live your life. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy yourself, but make sure that you're solid. You make sure that you're good to go. Other than that, you know, yeah.
I appreciate you coming on. I'm glad I finally caught up to you.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's been a hectic. So, one of yeah, no, I've just been running around. I've got a lot of things going on. I'm
That's
actually not
good.
even in New Jersey right now. I'm actually
Oh,
down
are
in
you at the
Florida.
beach? Oh,
No,
okay.
yeah, but I'm on business, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? I've been down here for about 2 weeks now, and I've only got a chance to go to the beach once. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
okay.
I've not hit the club at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I've not, and it's funny because one of my friends flew in and she had a whole Miami afternoon. You feel me? Sponsored by somebody's
Wow.
boyfriend, and it was like she was
Wow.
on the yacht, and I was like, "Have fun. I'm here
Wow.
on business."
Nice.
You know what I'm
Nice.
saying?
You didn't hop on that yacht too?
Listen,
Not
man,
yet. Not yet.
I'm trying to when I put this play together, you feel me?
Okay.
When I put the
Okay.
play together, then I can get my own yacht. No, I'm playing.
Oh, oh.
Don't ever buy a yacht unless you up like 100 M's. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I'll definitely be on a yacht though. I don't plan on buying any yachts.
for sure, for
I,
sure.
I, I plan on being on one though. Being on a few yachts, just
Yeah, no,
chilling,
I dig
relaxing.
that. I dig that. I dig that. I
You
mean, like
know,
I said, you gotta enjoy it. You
yeah.
gotta
You're
enjoy it.
right.
You
You're
only get
right.
once. You only get
I agree.
once. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. I
So,
agree. But
but yeah.
yes, thank you. Do you have any last words for, I'm going
Uh,
to say, our young people? Young lady, young man who recently graduated from high school. They have $0. They have no money. They're about to go out into the world, start college or a vocational school.
I
What
mean,
is your advice for them in starting their
for, for
financial security off right?
for my young people just turned 18. All right. If you've already got accepted into college, boom, do that. Go to college. I don't care what they say about how you have to afford it. Get that degree. The networking is insurmountable. All right. Make sure you make friends. That's what it's for. If you can't afford college, do the community college route. Do the 2 years at the community college and then go to the state college. That's still the cheapest way to do the college route thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Make sure you understand what's going on in the world in terms of where technology is going. Make
Okay.
sure um, you figure out some way to get your hustle on. You feel me? It ain't gonna be
Can't you
easy.
can't
The journey is just starting. Like I ain't gonna hold you. As you just starting at 18, you had time to enjoy the comforts of youth. Now it's time to get at it. But there's a lot to explore. It's a little big, beautiful world to see, and everything is possible. There's no one in the world that can do something that you can't do. Um, you have all the access to the information that you need. You know, Figure out something that you're interested in. Figure out how to monetize it. Um, Stay abreast of the technology. Uh, get internships. Uh,
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
get
I agree with
internships.
that. Yeah, 100%. Those internships help.
Very important, very pivotal. Especially if you're in college, get those internships. Shouldn't be a summer where you don't get one. Um, what else? Let me write this down because I got a niece about to go to college right now. You know what I'm saying? Uh-uh. But try to get just, you know, the stock market is not going to interest everybody. It's
Okay.
not. I'm not going to say that, you have to learn about it. You have to at least have a basic understanding of it, I think.
Okay.
Um, just in terms of what the sectors are, and like I said, where technology is going. Um, what else? And believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? The sky is the limit. I've traveled all over the world. You know, I've enjoyed some very nice comforts.
Nice.
So, you know,
Nice.
um, it's worth it to set yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Life is long, so sacrificing for a few months ain't gonna kill you in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You put yourself together for 1 year, 6 months, you'll be surprised at where you can come away from. You know, step back. Let me be the one to tell you, step back. Into the mix. Everybody's doing the same shit. You can only travel, pop bottles, and there's only but so many times you can enjoy your vices. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. And they start getting old.
Yeah.
But some people get trapped in their vices, and I'm like,
Try not to
yikes.
get trapped in your vices, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right. Let me put
Yeah.
that website back up. That's baglobalcapital.com. Very nice website. Go on, click contact, and you'll be right in with Mr. Adams and his team. But I appreciate you so much. You have to come back on when you get a chance, when you're free again,
And no,
and
absolutely. There's some
do
things
a
I still haven't
checkup.
said. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you the real hot takes next time.
Oh, okay,
You
okay.
know what I'm saying? But reach out to me. Even if, we don't work together, I love helping my people in any way I can. So just reach out to me. And I got some free time. When I have it, I will reach back out to you. We will make something work. Okay?
Okay. And what do we call you? Like what's your title?
Um, what do you mean?
Like are you a financier,
Um,
finance expert,
uh, wealth manager.
wealth manager? Okay. All right. So all right, Mr. Adams, the wealth manager. I like the way that sounds.
Uh,
It was nice having you on. I really appreciate the conversation, the information that you gave. Very clear, concise, straight to the point. I definitely felt comfortable.
I was about to say,
So
do you think you learned anything? I'm
yeah,
trying to.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I learned a lot. I actually need to process it. But I can't wait for the audience to listen and watch tomorrow. And have their comments in the feed. I'll be up there and I'll
All right,
be
well, send me the
referring
final
them.
video. I want to see what people comment.
Okay, I'll send it to you. I'll definitely send it to you.
All right.
But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. This
I
was much
appreciate you.
needed.
I appreciate you for having me on. I really get to talk about this in length like I like to. So outside of like one-on-one conversation. So I appreciate it.
Oh, cool. So you definitely got to come back on. We
For
need you
sure.
to talk about it. we want to hear it because we're trying to figure it out and get this generational wealth going.
I feel you. I
And we
mean,
need
it's
the
more
expert.
about financial security than generational wealth, but the generational wealth comes after. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The first step is general financial security, making sure that you're good.
Okay.
Then we worry about generational wealth. You know
See,
what I
I
mean?
like that. See, this is why we need you. We're trying to jump straight to generational wealth and we're not even secure yet or know if we're secure. But thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm going to let you go. Enjoy your work.
I'll talk to y'all later. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace. I don't.
Peace.
I don't.
All right. That was our wealth manager, Mr. Adams, B.A. Global Capital. Make sure you go to www.baglobalcapital.com. Check out his website, contact him through his website. And I'm going to put links to the website and Instagram in the comments. And he's also on Twitter and I forgot what else, but I'll make sure you at least have the website and Instagram so you can go on, reach out, get your financial security together. This has been Current Exposure. I am your host, Shakima K. Peace.